Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
What's up guys, Unofficial Star Wars here. Hope you're all doing well, and in this video we have a big tease going forward for the future of the Mandoverse, one that we've all kind of have pondered I think at one point in the last year, especially with The Mandalorian Season 3 coming out towards the beginning of this year, into the regards of Katie Sackhoff's Bo-Katan character taking over the role of the Mandalorian and taking over that show. Here is what she has to say to respond to that and going forward for what that might mean in the future of the Mandoverse. Of course, we're gonna hop right on into it. In this video, we are taking a read from the Direct's article. I'll have their article linked in the description down below for you guys to check out there as well. As a read, Bo-Katan actress Katie Sackhoff had recently taken to comment on the speculation that Pedro Pascal's Din Djarin would be replaced in the Mandalorian show with the Clone Wars character Bo-Katan. As Season 3 of Lucasfilm's hit Disney Plus show was airing, many fans felt that the show's title was referring not just to Din Djarin, but also Bo-Katan due to her strong presence in these newer episodes. This would make her the titular Mando, instead of which certainly riled up the fanbase, of course. Other theories, which I'd like to mention, had also pointed to that the Mandalorian title wasn't referring just to Din Djarin or just Bo-Katan, or even both of these characters at the same time, or much rather that this title of the Mandalorian was referring to Grogu, Baby Yoda, as he is on his journey of becoming a Mandalorian. And I still stick by that theory, and that's something to discuss a little bit more later down the road. All the more reason to grab that subscribe button if you haven't already. We of course are discussing and talking about all types of Star Wars related news. Anyway, one of the show's executive producers supported the idea of Bo-Katan getting the spotlight and taking over the show. Then, in a recent interview with Variety, Pedro Pascal himself noted how he thought the heavy focus on Bo-Katan was great and that it was also bringing into the full realization a beloved character that is from the world of executive producer Dave Filoni. The actor, Pedro Pascal, also made it clear that her character, Bo-Katan, taking center stage is something that he would want to see for the character and as a fan of the Clone Wars. So, in a recent exclusive interview with The Direct's Russ Millihem, ahead of her appearance at the upcoming Fan Expo in San Francisco, actress Katie Sackhoff, who plays the legendary Bo-Katan both in The Mandalorian and the animated shows Star Wars Rebels and Clone Wars, commented on replacement rumors that her character would eventually take over as the titular Mando of the Disney Plus show, or even then, sparking other theories and rumors even at that they were setting up her own spin-off show, which is something I think that she would be more than deserving of, and I think is something that a lot of Star Wars fans out there would love to see. I think though that the show of The Mandalorian is and should stay focused on The Mandalorian, and I think it will. So when asked if the possible status quo shift was ever discussed on set or behind the scenes with the likes of executive producers Jon Favreau or Dave Filoni, Katie Sackhoff stated that no, there wasn't, and how with the loads of speculation in this fandom, there's bound to be a lot of misinformation out there. She says that, in quote, "No, I think that there's always going to be a lot of speculation in this fandom. I think it's one of the reasons why people love this fandom so much though. And they love this universe so much that a lot of times it allows just enough ambiguity for people to interpret things the way that they want to interpret them. And out of there is this ability to have a lot of misinformation though. It just gets out, or just, wishful thinking at that." Ending that quote right there. Having Bo-Katan take on a larger role, especially in The Mandalorian Season 3, just doesn't seem as something that was planned necessarily, or something that was purposeful even at that. Not to say that the show isn't planned, of course, by any means, but it's just something that they weren't thinking of consciously into that manner of like that they are trying to force Din Djarin's character out and replace him with Bo-Katan. She had reaffirmed that the story of Bo-Katan needed to be told, and how at the end of the day, The Mandalorian will always be Din Djarin's show. She says that, in quote, "And I think in this situation, I think that the story of the Mandalorians and the story of Bo-Katan needed to be told. I don't believe in any way that it was taking away from Din Djarin's story, nor was that ever really the intention. And, Pedro and I aren't in charge of who gets to lead the show. this is Din Djarin's show, and it will always be Din Djarin's show. Ending that quote right there, putting it very forefront of how she believes that having those other side characters, in the sense of like Bo-Katan being a side character, and you know, the other Mandalorians of course given at that as well, were simply just a part of the story that they were telling with The Mandalorian Season 3 specifically. It's just something that came up to be a part of Din Djarin in his story. They just simply crossed paths, and this is the way that it kind of went. And then to reaffirm on what she had also said there in that previous quote there as well, and just into the idea of like, it wasn't ever the intention of trying to replace Din Djarin, a part of The Mandalorian, with Bo-Katan, and that if for anything, I really do think and believe and even hope that Bo-Katan would receive her own show. I think that could be a very much given thing as a replacement for the seemingly now cancelled Rangers of the New Republic show, something that just seems to never going to be able to take off. They could replace it with a whole other show surrounding the character of Bo-Katan and the rest of the Mandalorians, and even the broader aspects of the galaxy during this time period. This here all being said, I think that it's great to have this confirmation for one thing, and her own thoughts and opinions and insights on that as well, like what was going on there with the behind the scenes. Was this ever the intention? Was it something that they were ever thinking about even intentionally? And it thinks that, you know, it seems that that was never even the case really to begin with The Mandalorian Season 3 kind of being this co-shared show between these two characters of Din Djarin and Bo-Katan Kryze all at the same time. It's just something that simply came up amongst the Star Wars fandom and has a lot of rumblings going around between theories, turning into rumors, turning into everything else in between, and a lot of different misinformation, thoughts and opinions going around, I think, at that. By which I would love to hear what you guys are all thinking in the comment section down below into your own thoughts and opinions. This here all being said though, what does the future of The Mandalorian look like? On one hand, given the title of The Mandalorian, it wouldn't be entirely out of bounds to switch focus to another Mandalorian character from time to time. I think that's something great, but at the same time, as I had mentioned, on the other side, with where Season 3 left both our characters of Din Djarin and Grogu, the duo's next few adventures could easily be separate from what's going on in Mandalore with Bo-Katan, and needless to say, it would be organic to refocus on Pedro Pascal's character just overall, as the first two seasons did. I also feel that there just isn't a lot going on the planet of Mandalore or with these other Mandalorians anymore. I feel that their overall story arc did come full circle, and that their story just kind of feels over. I mean, what else are they going to do from here? I mean, given down the road a bit later, there could be other stories to tell with these other Mandalorian characters, especially from time to time, but for the time being, it really does feel that their story has come full circle and has concluded. They got their happy ending of getting their home of the planet Mandalore back. It's just an idea of rebuilding it, and I think that's something that they will continue to tell, very similar to the way that they are with Greef Karga and the planet of Navarro, simply just giving it brief cameos throughout the next couple of seasons and showing how it's being rebuilt into something greater and better. Anyway guys, of course, I would love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. What do you guys want to see with the future of The Mandalorian, and what did you guys think about The Mandalorian Season 3? I would love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Of course, this has been an official Star Wars. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one. May the Force be with you as always. Peace out.